end of this is about 3 inches. So I'm gonna go about 3 inches. If you're precise, you do you, boo, all day long. But the kids are just like, I want it done, I want it done, I want it done. Okay, let's do it. So I'm gonna move it down. So it's about 3 inches. And then I'm gonna pin it.
Just to make sure that's not twisted.
Yep. Well, it could be too.
For people who've done it.
Sure, yeah. Most of the time though, we have on Thursday afternoons, it's sort of like Genius Hour. We call it Hot Blocks, where kids choose an activity that they feel most drawn to. Teachers put these together like in the first couple of days of school. We all come up with our passions. So some teachers have a passion for sewing, and we have a small group of kids, maybe 12, that choose that. They don't like to call it a club, but it's a genius activity, and then it all is done with a purpose. So sometimes they make blankets for kids. So they've made blankets for kids, and then I brought in my embroidery machine and I put Jack Jackter, with love from Jack Jackter on them. The idea is just to give kids possibilities they could do. I don't think I would ever take on a sewing project. I don't think 2 seams, one straight across here, one straight across here. Now, many will tell you, if you're a measurer, that they'll talk about 1/2-inch seams and blah, blah. Is there a technical word for that one?
Seam allowance.
Seam allowance. I use the foot of the machine, and there's a little number chart here on most of them, old school. I'm gonna just make sure. So my machine is computerized. All 3 machines are a little bit different. So good luck. No, I'm joking. I'll be here. So I am gonna put the side of my machine, and you can crowd around me. It's okay if you want to see what's going on here. I put this side on the very edge of my material. I want to make 2 more stitches, unless you want to reinforce the handle.
You said 6 stitches.
1, 2. I lied.
4.
4. Okay.
As a non-sewer, I'm really watching.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same.
So here's where, if you wanted to reinforce those stitches, here's where I would do it. As a sewer, I would take this, I would press the snot out of it, make that a nice tight seam, and then I would go over it.
Yeah.
Right here on the outside, so that you would almost have a little, right? Then you get that. Yep.
Okay.
Not yet. That would be the easiest moment to do it, because once we do those next 2, now you're done. Okay. Next 2. Flowers on the inside, flowers on the outside.
Flowers on the inside.
Okay.
Listen to you being fancy.
You said flowers on the inside, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if flowers are going to be on the inside, then when we sew it, we want the flowers on the outside. I had to think that through for a second. 2 more pins, 1 at the top. I actually at home wouldn't use pins for this, but whatever, it's fine, it's fine. Yeah.
So will you have a raw edge exposed
Inside.
inside the bag?
Yeah, it can't.
Okay.
So what I did to make them reversible,
Yeah.
they sell like a binding
Yeah.
tape, or if you wanted to get really fancy, you could do that in half.
Yeah.
But the quilting binding, they make it's meant for the edge of blankets.
Yeah.
You just put that there and sew that there. Then when you have the flowers, you would have like a blue edge, or if you had the purple, then it would just be solid. If this doesn't work, it's not my fault. No, I'm joking. It's my fault. I'm gonna start from the bottom, the folded edge of the bag, and exactly the same thing. I'm gonna use the inside purple because I can feel with my finger, because I eyeballed it. These 2 don't line up exactly here, but I want to make sure I catch all 4 pieces of that fabric. So I'm gonna make sure that the little foot is got all 4 pieces of fabric underneath it, and we're going straight up again. Yeah, you could do anything you wanted. You're gonna just play. If you don't know how to sew, you're gonna learn how to sew today, my friends, because this is 4 seams, 2 less that I told you. And I'm just using my finger to poke that little guy out. If you really want a sharp edge, You can take a pin and you just pull this guy out.
You could also use the tip of the scissor
You
close.
can use the tip of the scissor. All of these things, yep, can happen.
Skewer.
Mm-hmm.
How much are cheap,
Chopstick.
easy sewing machines?
Here's your
There's
little bag.
all different prices.
And then you can, for sure, now you've
And
got
then
something else to
cricket.
cricket